Hello for everyone. Today I will explain how to build this beautiful sushi roll scene, and we will make them without any texture, and we will build them procedurally, so in the end you will be able to do the things like this, and also change different types of these rolls. I will explain every step by step how to build realistic materials, how to make realistic sauce, and everything that you see here. So let's start. Okay, so now let's path to the Blender. I use now version 4 and 5, but we today have much newer version, so you can use any version what you like, but be sure that if you don't have, if you don't understand something where you need to, if you don't understand where to press, where to find some note or something, you can write comment and I will help you, because sometimes we have difference between the versions. So this is what will you see when you turn on firstly Blender, and we will use it. But firstly, let's set up our render correctly. So to run our render, we need to press Z in our keyboard and render. Now you will be able to see something like this. So it's not good because by default Blender use Eevee render, but we need to go here in this button render and press cycles. Cycles is much better. It's like physically based render. So if you have very beautiful GPU, so you can use your GPU. If you want to render on CPU, you can also render on CPU. But for that, you need to set up it in your preferences. So go to Edit Preferences, and let's set up it in the system. I have RTX 3060, so I can turn on it here. And be sure that you need only use your NVIDIA graphic card if you want to use GPU. Don't use it with your CPU because it's much better to use it alone. If you don't have, you can use CUDA, but if you don't have, you can use only your CPU. So be sure to set up it correctly here and save preferences. Okay, so now I set up it correctly and I can use my GPU here. I saved preferences. Okay. So let's start render, and now it's much faster. Here we will set up lately all these settings, but it's very important to use as our GPU and cycles for now. Okay, also I will turn on one add-on to show my keyboard what I'm pressing, so I will search it here. I will search a screencast. Screencast here and turn on it for you. That's how you will see my buttons that I press on. Something like this, and also change color. Okay, so now you see my buttons and my keyboard. Okay, so let's see our references here. So we will start make our base shape of our sushi, and let's do it this way. Let's open our folder with our images, and in the Blender we need to press Alt and middle wheel and Alt, and after that you will be able to see different projections. You can also press 1 or 3 or 9 or 7 on your numpad, but I will recommend to use Alt and your middle button, so it's much easier to select your projection. So let's go to the side projection, left orthographic and drop our image to model it like this. Okay, so now you see your reference image and you can repeat the same shape. So let's start. Let's model it. Let's press Shift A and mesh, and let's select cube. It's okay. We have already some cube in our scene, so we can use it. It's not important. So let's select our cube that we have in our scene, and I will explain a little bit how to move your camera, how to change your position of camera. So now we have our camera in scene, but we will delete it. We don't need it. To delete some object, you need to select it here or in your viewport and press X and delete. We have also some source of light, but we will don't erase it. Let's keep it. But now we need to understand how to move our camera in our scene. So to move it, you also need to press your middle button in your mouse, like your wheel, and you will be able to change your position of view. Also, you can press Shift and also use your wheel button to change your position, to change your camera position like this. And also you can use a wheel just to rotate it, and you will be able to scroll and zoom much closer and much yes, so you can use your wheel to zoom in and zoom out. It's very simple. I think you will understand. Also, you can press Ctrl and make your zoom much better, much smoothly. Okay, so now we need to search our left orthographical with Alt pressed. And let's start. Let's select our cube and press G on keyboard. Let's change our position of mouse and press left click other again. So now we have it here, and we can change our vision by press Z and turn our cursor in the left. So that's how we will see everything like a wire and see through the objects. It's very useful. So let's press Tab on our keyboard. And now when we press Tab, we see that these modes are changing. For example, let's press again Tab, and we see that we have Edit mode, we have Object mode. So I recommend to use Tab because it's much easier and you don't need to press it here. So when we turn on Edit mode, we have three different modes. For example, we can work with the points, edges, and polygons. How it works? So if you will select first, you can also change it by your buttons 1, 2, 3 on your keyboard. So if you select first one, you can select, for example, this vertex and with letter G move it. If you select second mode, you can use and select your edge and work with the edges. If you select third mode, you can select polygons and work with the polygons. So sometimes we need to think what is better to use. It's better to use polygon or vertices or our edges. So for this situation, we need to use vertices. I recommend use now vertices. So let's change this position like here by selecting these all vertices, press G and Z. Let's keep it like this with the left click again. Let's select bottom part, G, Z, and make it like this. After that, let's make the same with G, Y. Now when we press G, Y, we see that we are moving only in one axis, and that's what we need. G, Y, and this part G, Y, like this. Okay, we can see that it is very large, so let's make it much thinner. For this we need to press A. When we press A on our keyboard, we can select everything in our object. And after that, let's press S, X, and keep it like this. Okay. Now we can see that we have something similar, but we need to make it much smooth here. How to do it? You can select second mode here and select bunch of the edges. Not only one, but with shift pressed, we need to select this one, and this one. Now we need to view our left orthographical, and let's make the bevel. To make bevel, you need to press Ctrl B. When we are press Ctrl B, we see that we can adjust some bevel. But when we are changing our mouse wheel, adjusting mouse wheel, we can see that we are adjusting more vertices to this bevel. For example, let's do it again from this view. For example, Ctrl B, and like this, we see that with the mouse wheel we can adjust more or less. So let's adjust something like this, and this is how it looks like. So I will save also my file to not forget. For example, sushi 2. Okay, so now we have some basic shape of this sushi roll. What we will do now? Now we can make our outside. It's called nori. So let's make nori. To make nori, we need to copy our object, but we can do it other way. We can press again Tab, and now select third mode or 3 on your keyboard. Press this only one polygon, but with Alt. When we press it with Alt, we can see that we selected all the loop, all the line of these polygons. So let's again Alt and press, and we can see all the loop. So now we need to separate this part, but to make copy of this. So let's press Shift D, and now we can see that we have copy of these objects, and let's press right click on the mouse to keep in the same position. But now we need to separate this part. To separate it, we need to press P and selection. Let's turn off object edit mode, and we can see that now we have other object cube. Let's name it Nori. Okay. Also we see these weird lines, so let's press with the right click and shade auto smooth. Okay, and do the same for the cube, auto smooth. We will call it rice because this part is like will be rice inside. But also we see that inside we have some fish and onion. Also we see that we have middle parts, so we will do them also. Let's do this. We can create new object. So let's create Shift A and create new cube. Yes, like this. Let's change position with G, enter to the edit mode with Tab and scale it like this. We need to see from the top with the Alt and change a little bit the change a little bit this width of our object. To do this very good, we need to enter in the snap mode here. That's how we will be able to make a snap to our other vertices very exactly. So let's also select here vertex mode, and when we press G and X and make our cursors close to other vertices, we will see that our selected vertices will be close to these vertices by the x-axis. So if I will choose GZ, so I will make it exactly to the same Z position. That's how it works like. So let's select this one, GX, and let's repeat the same shape like this, like this. It's not necessarily the same, but something like this. Okay, this will be our fish. And also let's make the same for this part. Here we have some cheese and vegetables. So to do it, we can also copy our object. To copy our object, we need to press Shift D and right click and enter to edit mode and change the position like this. Let's copy it again like this. We can see that now we don't have the same width, so let's adjust it. When we select some object, we can select only one polygon and press L. After that, Shift D and copy it. Like this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. For now, it's okay. Also, let's create cheese. To do this, we need to select our one part, Shift D and P. Let's call it cheese. And this will be vegetables. Vegetables I will make like this. It's not important. So it will be vegetables, that will be cheese. Let's change the shape of cheese like this. Yeah. Okay, now we need to make hole in our rice because now it intersects with our vegetables, with fish. It's not okay. To do this, we need to select our rice, enter to edit mode and select this polygon and this polygon. After that, let's press I button and keep like this. That's how we create some inset of our polygon. After that, we can change also the preferences and the width of this inset here. I recommend now to make bridge. To make it, we need to press right click and bridge faces. Now you can see that we have some hole, but we need to change a little bit these parts like this, more exactly like it should be close to our fish and vegetables. It's not important to do it very exactly, but it will be okay if you will do it nice. Like this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here we can adjust cheese. So to do it, we can select our cheese, press third mode and select the polygon here, or select these vertices. It's not important, but press E. When you press E, you can see that I adjusted some extrude. I will isolate this object to show much better what E button making. E, and you can see that you can make it more large, extrude this polygon. And when you press left click, you can make it exactly so. I'll do the same again here. And change a little bit shape of this cheese, like this, to not make empty parts. Here I need to adjust some loop. To make it, I need to press Ctrl R, and you will see that I have some yellow line. Here I will have new edge, new loop, but I can also adjust it before click. I can adjust some more loops by my wheel in the mouse, so you can also do the same, but now we need only one. And after the left click, you can also shift a little bit it where you need, but if you don't want to shift, you need to press only right click, and that's okay. Okay, so now let's return again to the view and adjust one more extrude here. Change a little bit points like this, and here also we need to make it. Okay, our cheese we need to make a little bit smaller, so let's select all the vertices with A and S, X. Okay, the vegetables we need to select and make A, S, X more large. The same with the fish, let's make it more large. Okay, so I recommend also to turn on the wireframe mode here, because that's how you will see the wireframe and edges without edit mode. It's very important also to see your wireframe. So okay, now we have nori. Let's select nori and make it more. It's very thin now, so let's adjust the one modifier. Let's go here in the modifiers, add modifier, and search here solidify. Solidify, and you can see that now we have some more thickness of this object, and we can adjust it here. But you should watch a reference, because it's very good to see it here. So it shouldn't be very large, but something like this, it's okay. Okay, so now we have some very primitive the repeat of the shape. We can do the same, but with the other objects here. For example, we can copy everything and modify a little bit. So let's select everything like this and go again to solid mode. Shift D, X or Y in my situation, and paste it here. Now we can change something. For example, here I will delete my vegetables. I will also delete my cheese. and make the copy of this fish and rotate it a little bit. To rotate, you need to press R, and you will be able to rotate it and repeat this shape that we have in this reference, like this. Yeah. And the same with these vertices of our rice. Okay, like this. Also, we can make only with one part of the fish. I like this, so I will make copy here and delete also these vegetables. This to make only one big part of the fish. Like this. Yeah, something like this. Here we have with other type of the fish, so also let's make this. But we can change when we select two objects like rice and fish. We can change tab, enter to tab and select these vertices and rotate them all. It's also work very well and work with all the vertices together of both objects. Like this, it's okay. Yeah, so we have 4 parts. I think it's okay for now. So we can see that this fish should be much smoother and beautiful. To make this, we need to adjust some additional modifiers like this one. Let's search subdivision surface S and subdivision surface. Now we see that it's much smoother, but before that we need to make bevel and paste it here and change a little bit thickness of this, like this. We can make Ctrl A and scale. Let's do the same for all of these objects. Let's select them with Shift. After that, Shift to this with the modifiers, Ctrl L and copy modifiers. Also shade smooth with the right click. Okay. And we can adjust bevel also to the vegetables. Only bevel. And more segments. Like this. And shade smooth. Okay, for cheese we don't need it. And yeah. So We have now our model, and we can now work with other parts. For example, I want to make some plate with the sauce. To do that, we can adjust new object with Shift A, curve, bezier, and we can see some curve now in our scene. What is the curve? Curve is like the model is the same like a 3D model, but we need to edit it and adjust some modifiers. So let's enter to the edit mode, but before it, let's rotate it with Control. Let's press R, Control, and after that we will be able to rotate it very correctly, very exactly. And let's rotate it like this. When we press R, we can press Z or Y or X, and with the control we can rotate it very exactly. But now we need to rotate like this and work a little bit with the shape. With the tab we can edit it like we did with other object before. So let's enter to edit mode, and here we see two points. We can scale them, we can rotate them, and also we can extrude new points. So let's repeat the shape of the plate. So we can do it from our memory because we don't need some reference for this. We can rotate some shape of our plate. For example, like this. And after that, let's also change them much. The idea is this point need to be in the center of this object. I will adjust some new modifier, twist, screw. Sorry, it's called screw, and change axis to X. So now you can see that it's making the shape of this basic of this. Now we can see that when you are adjusting more angle, you can create 3D model from the basic bezier curve that we used. So this is how screw works. So we need to make 360 here, and yeah, also can adjust more edges. And okay, after that we can use solidify like this, but I'd like to make it much smaller, this S, and also like this. Also we see this weird point. We need to press merge and it will close very good. Okay, now we can make let's change a little bit. Now we can make a sauce inside. To make it, let's copy our object, press right click, and again right click, convert mesh. Now we can see that we have our plate. Let's name it plate, and this will be sauce. And now we need to select only some polygons. For example, I will enter to polygon mode, Control plus like this, maybe more. Yeah, and Control I. Now we select other polygons and X faces. So now we can see that we keep only the selected polygons, and we need to, with Alt, press in the second mode the edges. So this is how we select only top edges, and press F. But be careful, you need to always check your your normals. So face orientation will explain you where your normals are not correct. So to fix it, we need to enter to edit mode, select all the vertices and Alt N and recalculate outside. Okay, also let's press right click and shade auto smooth. This is our source. Okay, what more? Let's return to our reference. Also, okay, what's more? Okay, we have wasabi, and let's create wasabi. It's also very easy. Let's create some mesh and icosphere. Move it here, make a little bit smaller. Adjust subdivision modifier, subdivision surface, and displace. In the displace, we need to create new texture. You go to the settings of this texture and select here clouds. Here we can make it more big, more smaller, but let's adjust in the settings of subdivision modifier more edges, more levels. And with the right click, shade smooth. In the displace modifier, we can adjust more strengths of these modifiers. So it could be like this, it's okay, but let's change a little bit shape of this sphere. To do it, let's enter to edit mode. Let's press this proportional editing, and if you will select only one vertex, you will see this circle around. So if you change your mouse wheel, you can change a region of influence on your editing. So let's G again and adjust it. It's more like this, and bottom part let's make more like this. We can also rotate it and make it like this. Yeah, rotate more like this. So this will be our wasabi. It's okay. Yes, let's delete our reference image. We don't need it anymore. And let's make our sushi more to the ground. Okay. So what's next? Let's return to reference. We can make our oh, okay. I like this part. It's called makiso, makiso carpet. So let's create this carpet, but we will do it procedural. What does it mean procedurally? So I will create only one part of this, for example, cube. Let's make it much smaller, but let's turn off this proportional editing. Let's make it very small, like this, and as x very long to make it like this. Maybe much smaller. Can make like this. Much smaller. Okay. So also let's apply Ctrl A and scale. It will be our part of the carpet, but to not waste it, so let's create new collection and call it carpet, and move this object to this collection like this. It will be our sample. To rename it, you can double click or press F2 and you will be able to rename this. Okay, also let's create our plane, for example, like this. It will be our carpet. Let's edit and make it more like this, more like this. But let's delete everything and keep only one edge. For example, this, and this one delete, and keep only this line. But let's press Object, set origin to geometry to move the center of mass to this line. So now we will work with the geometry nodes. So let's adjust here and change mode to the geometry nodes and create new. Okay, so now we have some modifier geometry nodes, and we will drop our sample. Also, we need to pin to not waste it when we changing our object. So let's select our sample and drop it here. And for our geometry node setup, we need to work a little bit with the logic. So logic is like we have only now 2 points. We have only 2 points. We need to make more because our carpet, if we will look, we have a lot of this object. So we need to create more points. To do that, we need to firstly convert our mesh to curve. After that, we need to resample curve like this. And let's distribute this object on every point that we resample. To do this, we need to adjust new modifier instance on points like this and drop our geometry. Now we see that our resampler adjusting more points, and this part will distribute our object in these points. So we can drop this line here, for example, and control our object here. But also before that, let's Control Z. Let's change length mode. So if we will change the length and change our edit in the edit mode, if we will change position of one of the points, we will see that every 15 millimeters we will see that. So if we will change our position of one of the points, we will have the same spacing between these objects. So it's important to use length mode, and we can adjust it here from here like this. Also, we see that it's very perfect. It's not good. So to do that, we can add some bevel to this object, for example, like this, but not too much, like this. And now we will see the same, maybe a little bit more. It's okay, like this. Yeah, I think spacing, we need to follow reference and sometimes return to it, so we can see that it's have something like this. Yeah, okay. Also, we see that we have some rope. But to do that, we can do it like this. For example, I will edit this object, press Ctrl R, and adjust with the wheel, adjust more loops, and keep them here. After that, SX, like this, and with the second mode, I will duplicate them, Shift D and P. Now let's select, we have that only one object, but let's name it rings. Yeah, and convert them to the curve. Let's go here, geometry, depth, something like this, but not too much, maybe like this. Yeah, And also I'd like to enter to the edit mode and make it, also I'd like to make a radius. Also I recommend to go to edit mode, select all the vertices and make a Okay, so we can do this way. We need to enter to the edit mode of our sample, press tab, Ctrl R and adjust 3 loops. But press the right button and keep them here, but adjust a little bit S, X, like this. Now let's close this mode and bevel, apply our bevel. And let's select this Alt again, this Alt and Shift again, select these 3 loops and press Shift D. Right click, P, selection. Now we have it separately. Convert with the right click to the curve and adjust here thickness of this object like this. Okay, so now let's convert it to the mesh with right click, and with the shift let's select this object and press Ctrl J. So now we can see that we have, but if you will see if you will see closely our reference, then you see that it little bit have angle. So to do that, we need to select before connect it, we need to select this mode, median points, or better select individual origins. Select everything in the third mode and press R. Now you will see that all they will rotate only in their center of mass, because if you will use a boundary, you will rotate them like this, but if you are using individual origins, you will be able only rotate them like this. So let's again connect them, and we will see that now we have our carpet. It's very good. Let's also separate them by the materials, but after some of the modeling more. Let's model something more. For example, we need to model, this will be finally that we will model, it will be these parts. So these wooden sticks. So let's model them. Let's use some reference. Also, I will drop some reference that I have here. Maybe this one, it's okay. So in the top view, I will create a cube again, move it here, enter to this mode, like this. Okay, so let's adjust, okay, so let's make it more small, adjust scaling correctly. And what we will see that here we need to adjust some loop, because we see here that we have them together. So and here they will be much thinner, so let's adjust also here some loop and make it like this. Let's select everything, Shift D, X, and make it very closely. Now let's select these 2 parts, delete them, X faces, and connect them. Again, select these parts and make S, X, 0 on your but let's delete this mode boundary box. Again, S, X, 0, and we can now press M by distance. So that's how we will connect these parts, but let's return a little bit, few steps, and adjust additional loops like this one. Yeah, and now we can do it again with M distance and do like this. Okay, now let's select this part to make it much thinner, and now let's adjust subdivision surface and work a little bit more with the shape. Like this. Yeah. Okay. I think it's enough for the sticks. Yeah. Okay. So now we can work with the materials and position of our scene. We can also create some base plane to make a base for everything. It will be okay. This sample we can move. We don't need it here. So, okay. Let's position everything correctly. Like this. Let's make our carpet bigger. Like this. Yeah. And what we will make now? I think we can adjust for our nori, we can adjust some subdivision surface, but let's make it before the solidify. Solidify, let's make more big, like this. And let's do is the same with the shift, Ctrl L, and modify, copy modifier. And let's select our rise, select this mode, and make much smaller. Okay, so now we can change a little bit higher, like this. And what we will do now, we will separate it. Let's now work with the materials and position of this scene. For that, we need to separate with the materials. So let's close our window with the geometry nodes. Now we don't need it. Right click and close array. So to work with the materials, as I said before, we need some basic lighting in our scene, because if you will see now, turn on render, it's not very good lighting to set our materials. So I recommend to delete this light that we have here, and let's create light, area light, move it like here, like this one, and center it in our plate, in our table, with the rotation. Let's copy it like this and do the same, but from the other direction, maybe a little bit much closer or not, but the logic it's like it should be like this. And let's now work a little bit with the intensity and size, like this. For example, this one we can make more like this, but the logic is to do this. But we can see also the weird geometry, so let's select this, smooth, and the problem is like the solidify. So let's convert to the mesh, auto smooth, and it's okay now. Yeah, so some basic lighting, we have some basic lighting, and now let's see the reference. So sometimes you need to watch references to make the same lighting. For example, I like this one, so I will maybe a little bit correct it like this. Okay, here in these settings we can adjust more lighting of the environment. So, but be careful, do not make a lot of this lighting, because this way it will be weird. We can also create some camera, Shift A, camera, and press 0 on numpad. Now we can see that our camera is it's another position. So to press, when we press 0 on keyboard and Shift and this button before the 1, we can be able to move like in the games with WASD and our mouse. So we can change our position of our camera like this, and it will be much more easier. So something like this. Also, let's change the resolution like this one. To the Instagram resolution, maybe something like this. Okay, maybe from the, let's make it, try to make it from the top. Maybe it's a good idea to set camera like this. We can also change it here, like this. Yeah. 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 Our lights we can move a little bit out from the frames. Let's see again our reference. So we have the much light from the top and less from the bottom. So we need to repeat the same logic. Let's do the both from the one direction. Like this one. Okay, we need to adjust also more sub to this plate and scale the water source more. Yeah, something like this. So, okay, now we can work with the materials, and firstly, let's separate it here. For example, this will be rice, so we will select any of these objects, for example, this or this or this one, and create new material, like this. Go to the materials, new, and name it rice. To create rice, we need to press to create rice, we need to go with our cursor here and change it like this one. Now we can see that we split our screen to two parts, and we can set here shader editor, and so now we can see shader editor. And for our rice, we can see that we have different materials, but let's set name correctly, rice. and press pin. So let's move these parts to the scene, rotate them, but rotate without this mode, with boundary. Yeah, and put it like this one. Okay, so how to make rice? To do very beautiful rice, let's turn on the noise also. Optics. If you don't have optics, if you don't have RTX card, you can use other one, automatic or open image minimizer, but I use optics. So to make rice, we need to understand how our shader editor working. So here we have some principal BSDF node. So let's create Shift A bump node, connect it to the normal, and press Voronoi, again Shift A, Voronoi texture, and now we need to press Ctrl Shift and distance. That's how we will see how looks like Voronoi texture on our object. So now we don't have any difference. Now we don't see any difference. So we need to, if we will press that and material preview, we will see how our materials looks like. So you will see that here I have rice. So let's set in every object of rice our correct material. Yeah. So if you will press Ctrl Shift distance, you will see that our material output go through here in the surface. But if you press Ctrl Shift and click here, you will see how working our material. So that's how you will see exactly how every part of our node tree works. Now we need to press Ctrl Shift distance and see this, how it works like. We need to set the same logic that how it looks like rice. For example, if we will see closely, it's like it should looks like this. So to do that, we need to work with these settings and adjust also color ramp, like this. Yeah. So we can adjust this one, settings, work with this one, distance edge. Let's select distance edge, and we can adjust more scale, details, but I prefer not use many details. We can change a little bit randomness, and yeah, this is enough. So now we can also make normalize, but see that it will be not very beautiful. So better to use B-spline. And here you can see that we have some transition between these parts. So okay, let's see. Now we need to connect this color to the height of our bump node, and Ctrl Shift BSDF. And now let's make again white color. Now we should be able to see our bump, but let's adjust distance, and this is how it looks like. But I think we need to work more with these settings, because now it looks a little bit weird. Something like this. This plan, I think, is the better option. Yeah. Okay. Let's turn our render. Okay. Yeah. This is how it looks like. It's okay for now. We will return lately to this material. Now we have some shape. We can just less strength because we don't need it too much. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so for the rice, it's something like this. We can also now adjust subsurface scattering. So what is that? For the, we can see that nothing changing, but if we will see very good, this is without our subsurface scattering, this is with, but we need to adjust more scale. So this is how it works, like when you look in from the side and when you look into the sunlight, we can see that it has some subsurface scattering of the light inside of this mesh, and this is very beautiful to use to the food, to the skin, to some natural object, because in the reality it's working like this, but we can see some weird colors. So let's make it 1 and 1 to make it exactly white. So this is how rice looks like in reality. You also will see this subsurface scattering, so you can see very well it here. So the only with you need to be careful with this scale to set it correctly. Yeah, something like this, maybe more. It all depends on the scale of your model. Yes, also we can adjust some transmission, but not too much. Maybe something like this. Transition is like a glass. It's like a refraction in the other softwares, but let's not make it too much. Maybe something like this. Maybe we don't need it too much, but okay. So I will delete this copy. Maybe I will just more strength now. And yeah, rice. I think that rice is ready. Now let's make a material of our fish. To make a salmon, we need to also create new material for this and turn off pin. Yes, when we select this salmon, we need to create new, set the name, for example, salmon. Also, let's turn on some reference to see the color and the texture. We will do it also procedurally. Let's do it procedurally. I'll make it smaller. So, the first, what we will do is rings. You can see that in this texture we have some lines, some waves. To make this logic, we need to create wave texture. Control Shift, for example, color. You will see that how it looks like, but you can see that it's not working good. You need to press Control T, and for that we need some plugin, some add-on. Edit. Let's save our file. Also, let's go to Preferences, Add-ons, and here we should search Node Wrangler. Node Wrangler in the add-ons, enabled only Node Wrangler, and turn on this Node Wrangler. That's how we will be able to just Control T when we press on wave texture, Control T, and press Generated. generate it and rotate it, for example, in 19 degrees, it's okay. The logic is like we can work with the scale from here. We can adjust value and control our scale from here. Scale of our rings. Okay, but now let's keep like 1. It's okay. So ring scale we can also control from here. But if we will look closely to our reference, let's repeat the same colors and the same shape of these rings. To do that, we can do a distortion, adjust scale, details, but let's do it better. Let's make a saw. This reference, it's not good, but if we will see in other, you can see that it has some straight line. So let's adjust more scale like this. And now this node will control 2 colors. Let's choose 2 colors from this one. I like how it looks like here. So let's adjust new node, search, and adjust color ramp, color. And we can set the first color will be like this, or maybe much saturated like this. Second color will be, or maybe let's set it manually. Yeah, second color will be much like a pink. Something like this we can also choose here. Okay, so now we can connect this all logic to here, or factor, maybe better factor, yes. And now if we will Ctrl Shift press to this one, we can see that our logic working very well, but let's change it something like this. Yeah. Also, we can see some bump, and we can adjust this bump with other node. For example, it's called noise texture and bump. Let's connect factor to the height, normal, and adjust distance, not too much, maybe like something like this, and adjust scale. And less strength. Yeah. Something like this. Also, we have subsurface scattering also in the fish, so I will make a copy and show you. But let's turn off our color now to make the same color of subsurface. Let's turn on. I think it's pretty like we have. Exactly. So let's connect it again. And now we see that our fish also have subsurface and it's working correctly. So yeah. Maybe I can make less. Yeah. And less subsurface. Okay, fish we have. We can also adjust fish here. Control L, copy link materials. Yeah. I think we don't have enough lighting now, so we can adjust it more, because in the reference we have much more lighting. This one. Yeah. And we can make size bigger. Like this. Yeah. Okay, fish we created. Maybe less of the bump. Yeah. Okay. What's next? Let's create nori texture. Nori texture, it's also interesting because it should looks like here this. Here we also need to make some interesting logic. So let's select our one's role, create new material. We already have some material, we can call it nori. Let's apply this nori to all of them. I think it's already done, yes. So to do nori, we need to firstly create color ramp. Color ramp, yeah. So if you look here, you can see that we can mix some noise and adjust two colors. First one will be almost black, and second one will be like yellow, greenish, like this. Maybe more like green, like this one. Yeah, and we will control it with noise. Noise texture will control it. But let's adjust more scale. And it's very important to set correctly bump. Bump we will control with other noise. We will adjust more roughness. Maybe something like this. Yeah. And also let's mix it because we have some lines. We have some lines. So we will adjust wave again. Wave texture. Let's see how it looks like. Let's rotate it. Maybe or not. No, it's okay. It's okay to use like this. Let's mix them. Let's mix color. First one, second one, and put it in the mix like this. But we don't need too much the second one. We can do it like this. Yeah. And we just scale more, maybe, or maybe less. Yeah. Something like this. And very important to use also subsurface scattering here. So let's turn it on and adjust. Let's delete color and set it correctly for the color of this. It should be like green, so maybe something like this, I think. Yeah. Yeah, and now we can adjust more and control the color like this one here. That's how subsurface working, and you can see very well here that is the same that we see in this part. We can also maybe make it like this. Yeah, I think it's enough. So yes. Okay, now our materials we set correctly. Also, we need to finish with the cheese, but it's not a problem to create new material, cheese. For cheese, we can also turn on subsurface scattering. We can use some more green color for the cheese. Not too much, but yeah. Let's bump adjust. You can copy bump from here, but without yeah. Do it less. One. Yes. Let's make the white color for the cheese. And work a little bit with the subsurface. I think we don't need too much, but let's decrease our bump details 1 and roughness like this. I think it looks like more like cheese now. So, and also let's make a green material for the vegetables like this. Let's repeat the same vegetable. And we can use gradient texture and control color ramp again. Color ramp, but let's set colors of this color ramp like this. Yeah, and now we need to choose our. Now we need to set our. Maybe it's better control with noise texture. I think yes, it will be better to use noise texture. Yes, but use generated. Make more big scale. Roughness will be not too much. Subsurface. Yes. Maybe let's use UV and use gradient. Better gradient texture, but now we will do this one. We will select everything. Smart UV, this like this one, and go to the UV editor. And now we can see that we have everything like this. Let's make it more big, like this one, maybe much bigger. Yes. Okay. Texture. Okay, let's select only top parts and move them like this. That's how we can control that. Okay, like this. The idea is to control UV map and make beautiful transition like we see here. Yes, also these all parts we can select and move them to where we have scale them and move where we have very dark color like this. Here we have very dark color and this is how it looks like now. Okay. Let's make it more like this. Yes. Okay. Maybe I will turn off this. Yeah, so vegetable are ready. Maybe I will adjust this one. Now it's ready. Wasabi. Let's work with the wasabi. Let's search how it looks like. Something like this. So new. Wasabi. Color ramp we can use, or maybe on the color. It's on the color. I think maybe something like this. We need to use noise map, noise texture, to create bump again. But let's make it much bigger and strength, decrease strength. Maybe like this. More roughness and subsurface. Adjust. We should also have green color now for the subsurface. Let's control it here. Something like this, and return again to the color of wasabi. Something like this, I think. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. And bump texture, adjust. Roughness, adjust. Yeah, wasabi ready. Let's now make our plate material. Let's go with plate. It will be very easy, only white and decrease roughness like this. Okay, now let's make a wood material for our sticks. It's also very easy to do. Let's create new material, call it wood, and create wave texture. Make distortion, not too much. Let's select rings, scale, but I think that we should see how it looks like this. Ctrl T, can adjust some scale. The idea is to repeat the texture of wood, but something like this, it's okay. I think so. Now we need to color ramp again. Color ramp, factor here, and choose two colors. For example, first one will be like this, second one like in the light, something like this. So the idea is to control the same, maybe less saturated. Yeah, something like this. I think it's okay. Can also make bump and move it here to the factor, but not too much. Not too much. Yeah. So okay, now we only need to adjust wood to our stick sample. Also wood. After that we will see that we have wood also in our this object, but I think we have the same. The problem is it's repeat and it looks like not very good. To fix that, we can choose our wood and put here no, we will go to the geometry nodes. So to do it, we need to go to real as instances, and now it fixed. It have different structure and different texture, and it's okay. Well done. I think wasabi have too much subsurface scattering. Let's decrease it, and also let's decrease displace. Okay. We need only to finish our soy sauce. To do that, we need to go to our materials, create new one, this, and we will use other object. We will erase this one with X and create new one like glass, water Let's put it more up to like this. Also, we have some weird artifact with water. Let's put it more up, like this one. Maybe let's create it again. Convert like this. Select this one. Control plus 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 plus. Shift D, P. Select again. And like this one. Okay. So now let's see again. Let's choose south. Little bit shift more up. Okay, so now we see glass, but water have IOR 1.333, and also let's adjust volume absorption. What is that? You will see volume absorption, and adjust some color like this one, because if we will see how south looks like in the sides, it should look like this. So to do that, we need to use volume. So if I will increase density, you will see that in the corners it should looks like this. Okay, something like this. I think it's enough. So, okay, now we can work a little bit more with our... Okay, I think we need also change a little bit wood material because it's too much consistent. We need to make it more random. So to do that, we need to hue saturation, adjust some correction here, and make it with the random per island. So if you will put it, you will see that we have some random hue, but I'd like to use it to the value, but let's make it with the math. Let's make it like multiply and value. So if you will adjust and put add, it will be something like this. So we need to work with these two parts, two values, to make a little bit difference between these sticks. Okay, maybe something like this. So we adjusted some randomization now, and it works very well. It's procedural and work very well. So okay, also we need to set rope material. I forget about rope. So let's add new material here to our stick sample. Let's call it rope. Yeah. Select with L and assign rope. Let's look how it looks like together now. Now we can see we have a rope. Maybe let's change a little bit the how it looks like. Maybe make dark. Yeah, that's it. So now we can work a little bit more with the lighting, with the composition of the frame, with the camera, and I think it's okay. Maybe I will change material of sticks. I don't like how it looks like together. Maybe let's copy that and change a little bit the value of this to make it more bright like this. And this wood, let's change, make it more dark. maybe like this. The idea is to separate them. Yeah. Okay, so we have now very pretty assets. So I recommend now to join these 4 parts and make a distribution procedural. What I mean, it's like go to the convert to mesh, Control J, select all of this, convert to mesh, Control J. This one, convert to mesh, Control J, and this one, convert to mesh, Control J. Okay, now let's also select both, make origin to geometry, and let's move the origin to the bottom of every part. For example, like this. I think it's okay. Yeah. Now we can move them here and create new collection. Let's call it roll and set the same name to the all parts. This one also roll, roll, roll. Then we will make to the new collection rolls, move them to the rolls, and we can close them. Let's now create curve, and this curve we will make a new procedural geometry node and call it rolls. Then we will call it rolls. Let's open geometry nodes here. So now let's make resample curve. Let's make our rolls here like a collection, reset, separate, and instance on planes, but I will also change it to the length like this one. So instance like this one, rotation align and set it here to the curve tangent, and rotation we can control with the other, it's called tilt. So now you will see that we can store them, but we need to pick instance and maybe adjust more space between them. You can see that this curve nav don't have very pretty good orientation. To change them, we can select all the vertices, press V and automatic. So now if I will move it, you can see that it's moving, but let's change it to the Y. So if I will adjust, you can see that it procedurally adjusting, but we need to adjust more space, maybe something like this. We can adjust some rotation, changing manually, for example, rotation, and control it here. For example, like this one, for the every object, like this. Yeah. So now we have some pretty good setup, and we can now work with it. So let's build some beautiful composition. I'd like to change maybe the angle slightly, because I don't know, but when it looks like this. I don't like this composition, but maybe it's okay. Let's work like this. So let's do a just circle. Let's just circle. This one part we can erase. Just circle. We can make our carpet much bigger. Okay, the sticks maybe here. Camera we can make more like this. Sticks we can duplicate. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's now copy our sushi, but increase the step and rotate it like this one. So it's very beautiful because you can now set it procedurally. So it's very beautiful that you don't need to paste them manually. That's why I like procedural modeling. It's very easy to work with it. Yes, something like this. Okay. Okay, let's decrease this light. It's too much here. Yes, now we can just maybe here. We can also rotate them with the tilt, but I'd like to separate this part. Yeah. I'd like to create other type of fish, and maybe we can create other collection of rolls, but without nori. So because they are the same, almost the same, and I don't like this. I'd like to randomize a little bit this. Okay, let's paste them like this. Yeah. So okay. Okay, let's create second type of fish. To do that, can do this way. Let's find our roll, salmon, and here we can make two options. For example, switch. We can make it like mix, and they will be controlled by object info. So random, and let's see. Okay, now we have black, white, okay. So mix will mix colors, refactor, and one of them you will change by hue saturation to the more to the other color, maybe like this. But I don't like this how it works now. I want to set the other color of the fish. I need reference, return to reference, and here we can see that we have some other option. Here we can see it very well, and I will set it now. I think we need to change it like this and not too bright. Maybe something like this. but it's okay. So we need sometimes to object info, it's okay, random. So this random we will call ramp. We will control with the color ramp. Let's make constant like this. So we can see that now we can control how much white and how much black we have, and they will be controlled with the mix color, this and this one, and like this. So now we have two types, and we can control very easy how much we have salmon and other fish. So let it be like this. Let it be like this, and also I'd like to add some seed. Integer math add. Here we will be able to change seed, for example like this, to control composition better, like this one. Okay. Yeah, and let's create new collection. I want to create other type of sushi, but it will be other roles too. Yeah, but here let's make like this. Let's select our nori of every part and scale down like this. It will be other type of sushi. Yeah, and I'd like to make it smooth. Clear, sharp, smooth. Okay, now better to do it like this. Clear, sharp. Okay, we don't need references anymore. Yeah, and I'd like to add some points up, but how to do it? Very easy. For that Firstly, we need to create other collection. We have already roles 2, so to these we can choose them. We can choose which collection we want to use. For example, here we have roles, but I can use other one. I can use roles 2. So now I have this one. But for roles 2, I want to add some points to the up. So to do that, let's work a little bit with our let's work a little bit with it. We will adjust some we will select our roles and select only top part like this. Now let's make for every Ctrl G assign to new group, Ctrl G assign to new group, assign to new group, and assign to new group. It will call group. So for this we will make a distribute points on face. We will use this geometry, but for the selection we will use attribute and named attribute, and it will be group. So how it looks like now, we can see that we have some points in the top part. So let's see, is it okay? Is it top part or bottom part? If it's bottom part, then we need to let's create seeds. To create seeds, let's a cube. Let's make it very small and make a subdivision modifier. Subdivision surface, sorry. So yeah, it will be our seed. Let's select this and send our seed here. Instance on point, instance, rotate, let's make random 0, 360, join geometry, let's connect this one and this one here. So now we see some seeds, but they are not correctly, and we should realize also to make them in different position. But we can see that we need to transfer, that we did it in the bottom. So let's edit the group for every object. Ctrl G, remove, remove from all, remove from all, remove from all. So let's use it for top part. Ctrl G, assign to active group, assign to active group, assign to active group, and assign to active group. Now we see all the seeds here, but I'd like to make them more smaller. I can randomize, by the way, them here. The same with the same logic, but one scale value, one. I will make it a little bit smaller, and we can control more. We can control more density. And I'd like to add some randomization for this one, rotation also, it's okay. Sorry, like this. Okay. And let's change material for this seed. Let's adjust it. So I will create new material. Here, new, and our seed will be something like this. And also we can make random object info. Can make color ramp. Color ramp, and control the same color we need. This one is this, and here let's use the same, maybe a little bit darker, and this is it. Maybe not too much dark, but yeah. Also roughness like this. And I'd like to change two types of these seeds colors, so I can make other materials. For example, to the seeds I can add seed 2, seed 1 will be seed light material, and seed dark material. For example, I will copy seed light, copy, and name it seed. This, and this will be seed dark. Yeah. So in the geometry nodes we need to make switch, make it here, set material, dark, and our switch we need to control from here. For example, here, yes. So if I will choose this one, it will be dark. So let's change material. For example, here we have some, let's make it dark, it's not important, like this. Yeah. So now we can control it from here. It will be white or dark. So we can make some parts with white. This part I will separate and make with light. Make it much closer. This one we can control with the tilt. No? Okay, something like this. Yeah. Okay. Maybe salmon we need to fix a little bit. These rolls we will use in our scene. I'd like to use them. Like to position like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I only want to make one thing. Very interesting thing that I forget. It's this one. Let's return to reference. I will search it here. I think I don't have it here, but I think it is this. So let's add some curve. Let's adjust some curve tube. No. Okay, let's make with geometry nodes. Curve to mesh. Yeah, and for profile we will use line, curve, line, but 0.2, 0.2. So one, to set up correctly. Better to use this one. This one setting, fill cap. So the idea now is to make chaotic extraction like this. This one. Yeah. Let's adjust subdivision surface. And maybe correct a little bit the shape to not intersect everything. Yeah, let's adjust this place. And we cannot use, so we can use set position here. Set position, and let's make noise texture. One. Okay, something like this. Yeah. Now let's make material for it. It will be something similar to salmon, but with noise. Subsurface, let's adjust also. Let's make a wave texture with color ramp. And the wave texture we will control with UV. If we can, maybe better with normal. So let's make with UV. Okay, so now we can increase scale, use distortion, and let's make the less difference between them. And for the bump, let's use this one also. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now we can work a little bit with the lighting, composition of camera, and I think that's all. So our camera is here, let's send it here. Let's open here our scene to control. I'd like to use some dark material for our table. Also, let's create it. Some dark material to punch our composition in the front, like this one. So let's move our camera like this. Okay, now we can control it a little bit, our scene. Lighting of environment. I'd like to correct a little bit material of rice. Adjust more strength to the bump. Yeah. Okay, this I will make smaller, these parts. Okay, and final thing, I want just curve like this. Let's adjust geometry nodes. Geometry nodes 1, but let's control it. Let's control it with this. Will be new one. Make it green, darker. Will be grass, but. Let's watch the reference. Let's see a reference if we have it here. I think that we have. Okay, so subsurface 1 0 0 1. Something like this. And also noise. Yeah, I think we can use here Nori, but let's copy this logic. Let's copy this material, but just a little bit more, and change color to more greenish. Yeah. And is okay? Okay, and dark, maybe let's make a little bit more. Okay. saturation adjust to make it 2. That's it. And maybe make less. Okay. Okay, so let's fix camera and composition. So now I'd like to change a little bit lighting. This. Let's go to color management, and here we can set also some settings, some medium contrast, just something like this. This one likely have too much. Let's decrease it. Okay. Yeah, we have temperature also. 1000, it's okay. This one we can also increase. Yeah. So this is it. Now we can set some settings for render. For example, I will explain some settings about this render. So very important to set our render not too much. These max samples, we need to put something like this. Can also, okay, let's correct also a little bit our exposition. We can make more contrast, high contrast, it's okay also. It will work very well here in this scene, and I think we can decrease now this upper light a little bit, and it will be okay. Now let's see our details. So let's return to render settings. So here we need to put something like this. It's okay. The noise I said about the noiser. Performance film motion blur. I think it's also clear here. What's more? Let's set our resolution to 2 times more, and that's it. Let's put it on render. Okay, I don't explain one important setting. It's to go to performance and use here 4000 and render again. Let's wait a little bit now for the render. Should wait a little bit. Okay, render is ready. I'd like to make other shot, for example, duplicate camera, and make also let's see. Let's see something like this. Let's turn on depth of field. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's rotate a little bit lighting. Something like this. Okay, I think I need to fix a little bit salmon because it's have too much reflect. 1.2, it's okay. Yeah, and let's move a little bit light. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Something like this. Okay, now I see that we need to fix also subsurface scattering in the fish. Yeah. Finally, this is it. Let's render and wait a little bit. Okay, I think I need to change a little bit camera down. Like this. Yeah.